Hey YouTube, welcome to progress video number 2 for Triplicity, our new kind of trading card game. This past week I've implemented a lot of new stuff for this game. The actual card game gameplay is feeling really smooth. It's pretty addictive. I've added some card abilities and effects that have added just kind of like a whole other dimension of complexity to the gameplay. I'll be showing a little bit of that off later, a little later. Nevertheless, let's look at what we got here. First off, you'll notice a beautiful new GUI texture set made by our friend Blender Helix Alpha. You'll see in the actual card game that this texture set goes really well with kind of the whole feel of the game. Alright, well when you first start the game, this is kind of the main menu here. You'll be prompted to start a new game. So we click New Game, and this little window opens up where we enter our name, and then we select our starting hand. Now, the way right now I kind of have envisioned for these hands to work is that a hand, a custom like made hand, in order to play the game you need to have 8 cards. So a hand is going to consist of 8 cards, but then every game it randomly selects 5 of those 8 cards just to add a little randomness to the game, because that's kind of one of those things about trading card games that's pretty nice actually, and adds a good um, just adds like such a good feel to the game when there's that random kind of component too. Um, anyway, yeah, so you'll have 8 cards and it'll randomly select 5 every single game. I've kind of been debating going back and forth between maybe having 10 cards and it randomly selects 5, but then you can have 2 of each card in your hand, 2 of any one card, whereas right now like it's just 8, or it will be just 8 cards, but you can only have 1 of any single card in that hand. Still kind of going back and forth, but I'm starting to like the 8 cards and then only 1 of each card in that hand right now, but these hands don't work right now. This is all just for show. So once you put in your name, select your hand, you'll click start, and then it'll save the data. So I was playing around with binary serialization this week, and I actually kind of got it to work. So basically there's a couple different ways. Like if you want to save locally a game, you can just save it to like a text file and then just read it right in through file stream. You can serialize it to an XML file, which is a lot more organized and it does a lot of work for you. The downside of both of those methods is that a player could, for example, just go and find the XML file or the text file and just change anything they wanted to give them whatever they want. So binary serialization saves it to a binary file, which is uneditable. So I figured out how to do that, and it seems to work really well with all different kinds of classes. So I make a custom class, and it just like serializes it right away, so I don't really have to do too much manipulation in that sense to actually get it to save and load correctly. This will help a great deal for in Exilium getting the saving for that done. So that's definitely something I'll be working on. All right. Well, now that once you start the game, or once you kind of start a new game, now every time you load up the game, you'll be prompted to enter the lobby. Now, lobby hasn't been implemented at all yet, but the lobby is basically going to be kind of like the hub scene where you'll be able to select, like, if you want to play random opponents, play a single player tournament or match, whatever, go to the online lobby. You'll be able to go to your like card manager and the card shop, whatever, get cards, stuff like that. But for now, when we click enter lobby, it just loads an actual game and randomly picks cards from the card database and just loads them into both yours and your opponent's hands. So let's go ahead and start a game here. Now, right now there's only 15 different cards that I have in the card database, and they are divided amongst 3 different kind of classes of card. I have all 3 here, so I'll be able to show them off. Right now there's Vindictive, Sacred, and Corrupt. Those are the three kinds that I've implemented. Other ones that are definitely going to be implemented are Trinkets is going to be a class, Sickness is going to be a class, and then there's going to be kind of like a normal or a no class, whatever type of card. Those are only the types for now, but there will be more. I kind of got the ideas for the classes and the names of the cards in general from uh, kind of a Binding of Isaac type deal. I really like the way that Edmund McMillan, kind of his naming convention he used for the cards and everything like that. They're just kind of like really simple, like the Chalice and Guillotine and Lord of the Flies, whatever. Like there's not a amazing amount of like lore behind the cards, but it's just kind of everyday objects or just kind of like traditional, myth or traditional things like that, just kind of put into cards. And I really like that. So, anyways, on top of the class types, the two abilities that I've added are the adjacent bonuses is one, and effects are the other. So I have examples of both here. So adjacent bonuses are these numbers here on the side. Now what that means is if I play this card, like here in the middle, which I will, actually I'll wait because I'll explain its ability too. So that means any card that I place next to it is going to get a bonus from this adjacent ability. So if I play Gabriel's sword here in the middle, then I play the chalice right next to it, the chalice is going to get 1 on all of its top numbers here. So it'll be 6, 1, and 6. And same for the other side. If I place a card on the other side, if I place Pin Needle here on the other side, it'll get +1 on all of his, so he'll be 2, 7, 2. Now, that's basically it for adjacent abilities. Really simple. Now, effects are basically it just does whatever it says here in the text. So on Gabriel's sword card here, it'll say, on play, random sacred card you own gets +1. So that when I play it, it'll pick all the sacred cards that I have out on play, and it'll randomly select one and it'll give it +1. So if I just play it by itself, it will be the only sacred card out there, and it'll get just a +1 by itself. It'll give itself +1. But if I have this chalice card out there first and then play Gabriel's sword, then there's a 50-50 chance that the +1 will go there or there. There are other things too, like here, this Lord of the Flies card. All corrupt cards get +1, so that's even your opponent's cards and your cards. And then this other, the Guillotine here on play, random opponent card gets -3. Now, the classes and their effects are kind of correlated. Here, I'll go ahead and play. So I'll play Gabriel's sword, and you'll see that he'll get +1. You see he's 3, 4, 3 right now. And then that little target that zoomed in just said that that's what it picked. So now it's 4, 5, 4. So now the classes, each class kind of has its own theme in terms of effects. Meaning that sacred cards, generally their effects and their kind of adjacent bonuses are all like to help your own guys out. So like there'll be a lot of positive numbers, a lot of on play. Other sacred cards get +1, like they like to build up other sacred cards, and they kind of have conflict with the corrupt cards. So other sacred cards will have things that kind of make corrupt cards weaker, and they'll have things that make other sacred cards more powerful. And same thing with the corrupt types. So they're kind of focused on making sure that other corrupt cards are more powerful and that sacred cards are weaker. Now, vindictive cards are kind of interesting. I thought it would be cool to have them be just kind of really oddball numbers. So like here we have 1, 8, and -1 is the Guillotine. But all their abilities, if they have abilities, are meant on hurting your opponent's card. So just like a vindictive card, basically to be vindictive is to cause something else pain, basically, or to want to be a destructive influence. If you are vindictive, like you are of a destructive influence, or your intention is to cause pain. So they're all just kind of going to be mangled numbers, like really kind of erratic numbers, but all of their abilities are going to be based on hurting your opponent's card. So let's play the guillotine here. We'll see on play, random opponent card gets -3. So since he only has one card out here, that's going to be the card that gets -3, and that kind of brings in another strategy element too, is when to play certain cards, because depending on when you play them in the process, it's going to have a different effect. So this is going to tear this guy down, -3. All right, let's go. Let's play the rest of this game out so I can show off something else. So I'll play my Lord of Flies. I don't think I'm gonna have too much of a problem with this game. See, he just played a Gabriel's Sword and it gave his chalice. It selected his chalice and gave it +1. Let's just finish this out. Ooh, I think. Let's see, unless he pulls. Ah. All right. So now we can see the kind of point system here. So it's basically a slightly modified 2 out of 3 game system here. If you win, you get 3 points. If you lose, you get 0. And if you tie, you each get 1 point. Now, if you get 6 points, you win, because that means that you won the first 2 games, basically. Or you won 2 out of 3 games. There are scenarios where it could be a draw, like 4 and 4. Like if you both win one and then you draw the last one, it would be 4 and 4. It could be 3 and 3 if you draw all of them. And if let's say you draw, it could be you can win like 5-2 or something like that. Like it's basically it's just 2 out of 3 games, but kind of adds like a little point system to keep track of it a little better. All right, let's play this one out. Let's try to beat this guy. So the cloth, put the cloth over there. I don't really have any corrupt cards to go good with my Lord of the Flies here, so that's going to be a problem. But let's see. Okay, on play random, opponent card gets -1, the noose, so I gave his knife -1. Pin needle, cloth, play another cloth. Put Lord of the Flies smack dab in the middle, and then hopefully he doesn't take that. Yes, then I'll be able to win this one. Sweet. Alright, so we're tied going into the last one. If we draw here, it'll be a draw for the match, but hopefully we can pull this one out. Got a lot of cloths, gosh darn it. Yeah, okay, let's go guillotine. Not too worried about this square, so I guess it doesn't really. Well, let's put this one here, because then the 4. So there's some strategy here. There's definitely some. Nice. All right, pulled it out. Okay, so after a match, like you'll prompted, you get rewards. We won, so there's nothing that's not implemented yet. But after you win a match, you'll get your rewards and you'll be able to return to the lobby. Well, that's all I have for Triplicity this week. It's coming along great. I think the GUI system here and kind of the animations and sounds we got going on, just the whole feel of this game is fantastic. I really like these lights for determining the turn. It's pretty cool effect. I've had a lot of fun kind of just like working on at this point. And I'm kind of addicted. Like a lot of my development time has been spent actually just playing like the game, having a lot of fun. So I'm excited for this project to continue. Well, yeah, like I said, that's all I have for Triplicity. Upcoming updates will mainly be focused on implementing the lobby. I think actually the game in itself, the mechanics are pretty much done. As you can see, I need some artwork for these cards desperately. I don't quite know how I'm going to do it. Actually, if anyone out there is interested in possibly contributing a little art to this project, please get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy to at least check out what you got going on. So on just on a quick side note, in Exilium, pre-alpha demo will be available for another week, so feel free to go to our website, check it out. I've gotten a lot of great feedback so far for that game. I really appreciate everyone who's taken the time to kind of just play the demo. I know it's not really much. It's just a quick little tech demo, basically, of some of the features that are going to be in it. But I've gotten some good feedback and some bad feedback too, which is also good. You can learn from that. Um, but so that's it. I just want to let you guys know I really appreciate everyone who took the time to play it. That's all I have for today. Please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe. And please check out our website. Next week I'll have some Inexilium updates to show off. So thanks for watching.